Men, please beware. Be aware, especially black men. I need you to understand and know that the most protected species on planet Earth is the white woman. Nothing you do, nor the amount of money you have, can protect you from the wrath of the white woman. If you thought that video evidence showing a marathon sprint of you running away from a white woman was enough to exonerate you in a court full of jurors chosen by a corrupt system, was enough to keep you from the shackles of the caucus femme fatale, you were sadly mistaken. I'm smiling, but this is no laughing matter. Breaking news just released. Jonathan Majors has been found guilty in what will no doubt be a headline for months and years to come. This will no doubt end his acting career. Any existing contracts or upcoming brand deals he had with any companies will surely be reevaluated and terminated. You are looking at the public assassination of a black man right before your very eyes, and it's beyond sad. It's heart-wrenching. And before we get into this article, I want you all to keep in mind how the legacy and future of this man will be forever changed until the day he leaves this earth as a result of this trial. So let's just get to it. Straight from the Hollywood Reporter, although this article, this headline is everywhere. It's in the New York Times. It's all over the place. Jonathan Majors found guilty of assault and harassment. The verdict was reached Monday, that is today, by a 6-person jury after over 4 hours of deliberation spread across 3 days. The actor is set to be sentenced on February the 6th. You see Jonathan Majors there with his girlfriend, Megan Good, in the background. It says the verdict was reached by a 6-person jury after roughly over 4 hours of deliberation spread across 3 days. Jonathan Majors, wearing a gray suit and black dress shirt and tie, sat with his attorneys, with family members, and his girlfriend Megan Good behind him as the verdict was read. Sentencing is set for February the 6th. The charges carry a sentence of up to 1 year in prison. On 2 other charges, he was found not guilty of intentional assault in the 3rd degree and not guilty of aggravated harassment in the 2nd degree. In total, Majors faced 4 charges of assault, aggravated harassment, and harassment after he called 911 on March the 25th when he said he found his ex-partner, Grace Jabbari, unconscious in their apartment. Police arrested Majors after finding apparent injuries on Jabbari, including a laceration behind her ear and a bruised and fractured finger. Majors pleaded not guilty to all charges. Jabbari, who took the witness stand for the first 4 days of the trial, said Majors had caused the injuries during an altercation in the car several hours before. She testified that the alleged incident occurred in a private car when she saw a text on Majors' phone that read, "Oh, how I wish I was kissing you." Jabbari has said she tried to snatch the phone from Majors, who then pried her fingers from the phone, grabbed her arm and right hand, twisted her forearm, and struck her head to get the phone away from her. The first 3 charges are misdemeanor offenses and related to alleged incidents in the car. The 4th charge of harassment, which is a violation, the most minor offense among these charges, relates to an allegation that Majors threw Jabbari back into the car as she tried to exit. The defense argued that he placed her back in the car to stop her from running into traffic. That action is captured on surveillance video, while the altercation inside the car was not captured on camera. The charges against Majors were brought by the state of New York rather than by Jabbari herself. The case was a criminal trial as opposed to civil, meaning the burden of proof is higher for the jury, who had to find proof of guilt beyond a reasonable doubt on each charge. The arrest has already had implications on what had been the biggest year in Majors' career, which included starring roles in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Creed 3, Loki Season 2. In the wake of his arrest, both his publicity firm, the lead company, and managers at Management 360 dropped him. And the Disney-owned Searchlight features removed Magazine Dreams from its release calendar. In a statement after the verdict, Ross Kramer, an attorney for Jabari, said they hope the guilty verdict inspires other victims of assault. I am not going to waste your or my time reading what their attorney had to say because it's honestly, I've read it already. It's just a bunch of fucking fodder. It says, during the trial, prosecutors approached this case as a case of domestic violence while the defense repeatedly called Jabari's credibility into question and positioned it as an ex's revenge. Majors appeared in person every day of the 2-week trial with Good and family members in attendance. He did not testify during the trial and showed little emotion except for tearing up during closing arguments from his attorney. His fear of what happens when a black man in America calls 911 came true, said his attorney. As part of his defense, his lawyer claimed Jabari was the aggressor in the car, pointing to the fact that Major's coat was ripped and that Jabari is seen on the surveillance video running after Majors down the street, which is the video we all saw together, which is the video I showed you all in my last video I covered on this. Running down the street after the initial alleged altercation in the car, Jabari said that she ran after him to find out who sent the text. So it's okay for you, according to the Court of Public Appeal, it's okay for you to chase after the man who you said was just abusing you moments earlier in the car. You chased him for blocks across Manhattan. This is absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. You can be on full video and full sprint running away from this person who was alleging that you have abused them. You can be in full motion sprinting away and still be found guilty of assault. Absolutely incredible. His lawyer further argued Jabari was uninjured after leaving the car and had gone revenge partying at a club where she bought champagne on Major's credit card while still being able to use her right hand, which she said had been injured. Jabari testified that she had sought help from 3 strangers on the street after the first altercation in the car, and they then invited her to a club, which she accepted in order to seek comfort after the alleged incident. You can't make this up, bro. Yeah. Wow. I feel like I am reading an excerpt from some type of book. Like some type of imaginary tale that women read when they are looking to read something a little racy and a little raunchy. Like, that's what I feel like I'm reading. Because no way would you read this and believe that this is actually possible, right? No way could you read this knowing what we already know, knowing that Jonathan was running away from this chick, tried his best and his damnedest to get away from this chick. No way could you look at all of the evidence, the factual evidence presented, and be like, yeah, well, he's certainly guilty of assault. I just read that they said that they needed to find a way to accuse him and make sure that he was guilty by any without reasonable doubt. All right? I said that. I read that. Have we not seen reasonable doubt? This is insane. This is crazy. His lawyer also implied that Jabari had injured herself later after drinking throughout the evening and then returning to their shared apartment and taking sleeping pills. So once again, you returned back to the place that you said, back to the place where you said the man dwelled. They were the man dwelled that was abusing you. Got it. Majors, who had stayed at a hotel after leaving the car. So he went to the hotel, you went back to the apartment. returned to the apartment in the morning and called 911 after reporting that he found Jabari unconscious. So he did not come back to the hotel because he knew you were going to be there, and he didn't want to further implicate himself in any type of way. He wanted to steer as far away from danger as he could. He wanted to steer far away from this as he could. So he returned in the morning, came back hours later after he figured that you had calmed down, finds her passed out from taking sleeping pills, and calls 911 to help her, to assist her again. This is absolutely insane. Prosecutors also introduced a series of texts into evidence which could prove damaging to Major's reputation as they pertain to several alleged incidents that happened during the course of Major's and Jabari's relationship. Prosecutors alleged a pattern of abuse, which they said explained why Jabari had not immediately told police officers that Majors had caused the injuries. In one of the texts sent between Majors and Jabari in September of 2022, Majors appeared to dissuade Jabari from seeking medical attention for an injury. How she sustained the injury was not discussed. They will ask you questions, and as I don't think you actually protect us, it could lead to an investigation, even if you do lie and they suspect something. Majors wrote, these texts were initially deemed inadmissible, but then were able to be shown by prosecutors to jury members following a line of cross-examination questions from Major's defense team that Judge Michael Gaffey said lacked specificity. So if they were inadmissible in court, never mind. I'm no lawyer, so I don't know. I guess they found some type of loophole to still include and admit whatever the text messages that were supposedly inadmissible. Prosecutors also played a recording Jabari said she made of Majors during an earlier argument in September of 2022 in which the actor admonished Jabari for drinking and then returning to their home with her friend, and said she needs to live up to the standards of Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama, and adding himself, I am a great man. Was he lying? Was he lying? So his chick returned home, drunk off her ass, after going out on a night out with her friend. She returns home, drunk off her ass, and she gets scolded for it because, chick, what are you doing out here getting pissy drunk and you're connected to me? You are a representation of me when you go out into these streets. See, that's the thing. Y'all all say y'all want a high-value man. When you get one, you still don't know how to fucking act. Members of the jury were instructed to view this as background information rather than evidence of propensity to commit a crime. You can't tell the jurors. You cannot tell the jurors how to react to something. They're going to react how they react. And it's definitely going to sway their decision and what they decide. Ultimately. Doesn't matter what you say. Once the evidence is admitted, it's admitted. You can't take it back. This is nuts. After the verdict was reached, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg weighed in. At the Manhattan DA's office, we are committed to centering survivors in all of our work. The evidence presented throughout this trial illustrated a cycle of psychological and emotional abuse. Oh my fucking God, bro. Jesus Christ. And escalating patterns of coercion, far too common across the many intimate partner violence cases we see each and every day. Today, a jury determined that pattern of... Enough of this bullshit. Thoughts, prayers, and condolences to Jonathan Majors and his family, who will have to live with this for the rest of his natural-born life. As I said before in my opening statement to this video, this will no doubt cripple his career. He's probably done. He's done. Okay? It's not a question of... Nobody's going to want to touch him after this. This is absolutely a smear campaign. This has turned into a smear campaign. Jonathan Majors is done, unfortunately. And unfortunately, this leads us back to the topic of dick discipline. Unfortunately, all roads lead back to this topic. I can't avoid it, y'all. Unfortunately, all roads lead back here. Men, be mindful of who it is that you get with. You have to vet your partners. You have to vet the person that you are sleeping next to, that you are laying down with every single night, that takes the bed next to you, that takes the pillow next to you, and says that they love you. You have to vet them fully. And as soon as they show signs, as soon as they show you that they are unstable creatures mentally, emotionally, you have to leave. You have to make an escape. Unfortunately for Jonathan Majors, it was too late. He tried to literally, physically run away, and it was not enough. Which is why you have to do the work beforehand. You have to vet your spouse, your people, the people that you're getting into relationships with beforehand. I'm sorry that this happened to him, but it's a telltale cautionary lesson for men, especially black men, especially powerful black men, and that are in positions, that are in elevated positions. You have to do the work to properly vet who it is that you're going to be with. This is a cautionary tale. Men, watch your six. I don't know no other way to put it. Check, double check, and triple check the person you're laying next to, especially if you are a black man in America who has established some form of wealth and notoriety. See y'all in the next video.
That new batch. We must pay homage.
Back again, nigga. Hey, this shit ain't been the same since I bossed up. You talking down when you gon' fuck around, get tossed up. Prayers from below ain't never answered when they need to be. Shit ain't been the same since my mama said she needed me. Fuck what any nigga say.